Close-up shots are used frequently throughout, which adds to the sinister tone as we see the emotions of the characters and how scared and afraid they look. It also makes it more personal as we get to know the characters on a deeper level and form a relationship with them, becoming more worried for them when they get into danger. I chose to use an extreme close-up shot in my film as it is a common convention used in horror films and emphasises the character's emotions, especially going from a close-up shot to an extreme close-up shot. By developing these shots to only showing their eyes, I feel that it heightens the tension and horror as eyes show how you're truly feeling. In these shots it also shows how vulnerable and innocent these girls look and therefore how scared and petrified they are, in comparison to this shot which has been used to show that she is going to attack. It is a very common convention to use an establishing shot in a horror film. It not only develops the mise-en-scene by setting the scene of the film, but it also shows how large and empty a space can look, especially when set in a forest like mine and this other film I analysed is. It can also add to the vulnerability of the character if they are placed inside that establishing shot. Again, here, in both my film and the film I analysed Victim, we have used an establishing shot with our protagonist in it. This makes them appear to look small and helpless if something was to happen, as no one else is around to help. It also adds to the eeriness in both the films, as there are plenty of places where people could be hiding, and therefore particularly good for a horror film as it adds tension. This particular film uses a focus pull to highlight the importance of the prop. The focus swaps between the chess piece and the man, suggesting that he will later represent this prop in the film. To further highlight this importance of the prop, the chessboard is always in the background. When the lady goes out to look for her husband later on in the film, she finds the chess piece on the floor of the shop, indicating that he is there and therefore raises tension and suspense for the audience, and our heads fill with unanswered questions. I have used a similar shot in my film. When she is texting, a focus pull has been used from the phone onto the bracelet which is on the floor. However, to make it more obvious, I have added tense, high-pitched music, highlighting the importance of this prop to the audience. As well as this, although the other film has only used the chess piece in the opening scenes, I decided to try and get the bracelet in as many shots as I could, making it clear that the prop is very significant to the film. These high-angle shots are another common technique to use in a horror film. They make the characters appear to look small and vulnerable and have a sense of someone looking down, watching their every move. In these screenshots used, it makes them appear to look helpless, which is a very simple but effective shot to use in a horror film. I have developed these shots in my film by using a high-angle long shot, watching her walk past. These shots exaggerate her vulnerability and show her obliviousness to the goings-on around her, creating a tense atmosphere as the audience is aware of what is happening, yet the protagonist has no clue. I have challenged media conventions by having both girls and only one boy as the dangerous masked people. This is therefore different from the conventional stereotypical horror films, as they usually have men as their dangerous predator, as stereotypically men are the stronger sex and are therefore more likely to be frightening than a woman would be. Or they use young girls and dolls, as is a common convention in horror films for dolls to come alive at night, as seen in this horror film. However, I decided to move away from this stereotype by using both sexes around the age of 16 to 18, but predominantly using the shots of the women rather than men. I believe that my film has therefore challenged media conventions in a way, but at the same time is still successful, as women can be just as terrifying as men can be, as seen in my film.